Well, it is coming up on the end of 2016. Time to get those finances in order and blast off into 2017 ready to go. Here to talk about just that from Fortress Credit Pro, it's Rondi Lambeth. How are you?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Happy
Good
New
to
Year.
see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, you brought your credit cards in
I
today.
did. I brought in 3 credit cards. 3 credit cards. Yep.
What is the most important thing, like on your credit report, if people take a look at it end of year, to see on there or to not see on there?
Credit cards. You need to have at least 3 to 5 open credit cards at all times. That's the most important thing you can do for your credit.
How come?
It's because credit cards are the first thing that people will mismanage. The first thing that if people get in financial trouble, that's the first thing they stop paying. And they can really tell how someone manages their finances, how responsible they are, what their job situation is by their credit cards, how much they utilize every month, how much they pay each month, when they pay it off. So credit cards are the most important impact, the most important thing on your credit report, regardless of what it is. So you got to have at least 3 to 5 open cards at all times. You should never spend more than 10% of your credit limit in any given month. So if you have a $1,000 credit limit, never spend over $100. Now the problem with that is when you have a card like this one with a Capital One card, this has got all kind of really good mileage. It's my favorite type of card. Well, you got to max it out to get those mileage, right? The problem is your score goes down every time you max it out. Every time you go 10% or higher, score will drop by about 10 points.
Your credit score?
Your credit score will drop by 10 points. And so if you max out all your credit cards and then you pay them off in full the following month, you can see a 200-point drop by maxing out those cards. So never go over that 10%. Now, if you do, like I do, you just got to go in there on a regular basis and pay them off early. So you can simply call up Capital One or Amex or whoever it is and say, when do you report to the credit bureaus? And they say, oh, we report on the 16th of the month. Well, make sure that's paid off 7 days early. Because when they report, they're reporting how much is owed that day. And if your check hasn't cleared yet, they're going to report that you owe that home balance, right?
Yes.
And so you always got to pay it early.
To clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And so
I learn so much from you every time you come in. Keep going, keep going.
So with the credit cards, it's kind of like a teenager. I don't know, you have kids, right?
I sure do.
How old are your kids?
11 and 9.
11 and 9. So they don't have curfews yet.
No.
Okay, so I have 3 kids, 22, 24, and 26. And my oldest daughter, she's just life of the party. And I would tell her to be home by 10 o'clock. She'd show up at 9:59 every time.
Yep.
My middle daughter, the responsible one, be home at 10, she'd show up at 9. My youngest, my son, be home at 10, he'd show up at 10:15. And I knew this, right?
Yep.
It's kind of like a credit card. If you just use a little bit of your credit limit, the bank will reward you. FICO will reward you. But if you just push the limit, there's a chance of you being late. And what FICO's trying to do is figure out the likelihood of you missing a payment over the next 24 months. And that's why credit cards impact your credit score in such a big way.
I had no idea that they told such a story. I mean, I knew that, okay, so they'll see something shows up on there, maybe late or payment or something, but such a personality is somebody.
Yeah, and they do. If you don't have credit cards, you will never, ever have good credit, ever.
Wow.
So do not cut up your credit cards. Don't use debit cards. Stick with credit cards and pay them off in full and never go over 10%.
Thank you very much. Always great information. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Yeah.
More Tahoe tonight coming up right after this.